Hey friends, welcome to my channel. I'm AmandaMuse, and today we're just gonna have a little sit-down chat. So we're gonna do a debrief of 2020. We're gonna talk about 2021, the word of the year, some projects I have planned, just general life update. So grab yourself your preferred hot beverage, get cozy, and let's start talking. To minimize the chaos of my brain and just like blub 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 that can happen in these chatty videos, let's just do a brief summary of 2020. You were there, you know the crappy parts, so I don't think we need to cover that. I also shared my life through weekly vlogs from the very beginning. I took a couple breaks here and there because my mental health, but I shared most of it, so I know you've been with me for most steps of the way. But some of the highlights, I think, top of the top was for one of my personal, career goals was that I achieved a milestone of 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And that's very exciting to me, truly. I know I said this before, but it's one of those milestones that just seemed so far away. It just didn't seem like it was going to happen. And I know a few of you that maybe aren't like in the nitty gritty of YouTube are kind of wondering like, what's the big deal with that number? So on YouTube, they like to celebrate their creators. And one of the first steps is being able to be a partner and monetize. This is at the very beginning of your channel. I know that the numbers have varied. I think it's something like 1,000 watch time hours or something like that, and 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, there's certain things to achieve there at the start. And then the next big one is 100,000 subscribers, and you receive a plaque, which I haven't yet received. I don't know what's happening there, but I have a spot for it. It'll be over here on the wall. So you receive this plaque, and it's a celebration of the work that you've created. And then the next one after that is 1 million. So guys, I don't know, I have goals, but that seems pretty lofty to hit 1 million. Anyway, point is, it's a pretty exciting milestone, and I'm all about celebrating these big life achievements, and it's important to me, and therefore I celebrated it, and it was very, very exciting, and I pretty much rang in the year hitting that. I achieved that just at the end of November, beginning of December. So very exciting. Another thing that was pretty this was kind of an awesome year was that I was able to work throughout the year. I have a job being a creator and partnering with some really great brands online. I was able to maintain my job throughout the whole year, which was super important because my husband, being a pilot, wasn't exactly of the same, he wasn't on that team of keep your job. He definitely was one of the first to go, being in the travel industry. So that was a very, very big relief that I've been able to work. And I know that so many families have been impacted in many different ways. And I mean, let's be honest, it's always in the back of my mind, okay, well, if I have to sell my house, no joke. Money coming in means life can sustain and life can stay the same. And if it has to change, it has to change. But it's just, it's been that kind of year. You were there with me. You were doing your own life, and it was crazy. Another thing is that I'm still married. And I say that kind of as a sense of humor, but this last year has been really hard on families, on relationships. I think that a lot of stuff has bubbled to the surface for us individually, but also as partners in marriages and long-term relationships or even short-term relationships. So I feel really happy that at the end of the year and starting out this year, I feel very solid with my family unit. That's not to say we didn't have some serious knockdown, blowout fights in 2020, because they were there. Trust. I am a woman who is full of passion, and I take no shit. You know what I mean? So it got real a few times, but I'm here to say that despite that, we figured our way through it and figured our way through it together, which I feel very happy about. Now, if maybe your relationship or some relationships in your life didn't, it happens, and maybe it's for the best. It probably is for the best. Let's be honest. And, here's the thing. Relationships, they serve a time, and sometimes it's a chapter and it's a year, 2 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. And sometimes it's got to close and that chapter has to be done. And I think it's completely okay to do that. Heck, if I have to do that at some point in my life, I would do it and I would be okay. It's just one of those things. But for us, I just kind of can't believe it, to be honest, considering some of the top stressors that people can experience, we experienced, and it's something. So kudos to us. I'll pat myself on the back. We really found ways to connect as a family, to chill out in a lot of different areas. Like I took up gaming at the end of 2020. I forgot how much fun it was to game. I got myself a Nintendo Switch on Boxing Day and I have not looked back. Every morning I start my day, I no longer start my day on Instagram. I start my day in Animal Crossing land, and I work on my island and I drink my coffee, and then my kids wake up and they sit next to me. We all visit each other's islands and it is the most fun, but I'll get to the fun part in a minute. So I feel really solid with them, and I feel proud of that because it took a lot of deep breathing. It took a lot of solo drives to Starbucks and, working on myself to make sure that I found ways to mend, to make better, to leave, let be kind of thing in my life at home, without going into too much detail because it is a private part of my life. It's just, I'm proud of that. Okay? That's all I gotta say about it. Fitness. Somehow, I maintained my fitness throughout 2020. I don't know. Well, coming back to the previous point, I'm pretty sure that's why I'm still married, is because I worked on myself. At the end of 2019, I needed a big change. And I remember when I started working out, this office was not yet put together. I took my first full body photo. I had Dean take the photo because I didn't have a mirror and I didn't have anything set up. And, I took a couple of breaks, like a week or two here and there. But overall, I've been really consistent. And I think the difference in 2020 that has been from any other year in my life is I really, really listened to what my body needed. So there was a point where I really got into cycling and I was riding my bike everywhere and it was so fun and I was having the time of my life. And then I was kind of done with it. The season changed and I got into something else. I picked up running and I got really into running. I, got really into my home workouts. And then in November, I took up kickboxing, which was kind of scary because it was completely new. I'd never tried kickboxing before. There's a studio local to me that opened up and very COVID safe. I was able to attend some classes for a few weeks. It's shut down right now, but it'll open up again once we get to open back up and get back to living because it's part-time, It's not really living, but you're trying your best. But it was really thrilling to take on a new hobby. So I got a new hobby in 2020. So there was definitely some good things. I realized that so much of my family's success was riding on me staying pretty even keeled. And I know that one of the factors in me maintaining my mental health is movement, is exercise, is finding ways for me to decompress. And so I really prioritized that last year. And I did a pretty good job. It kind of came off the rails over the holidays. But I just think that I was overdue, to be honest, to kind of have a little bit of a freak out because of the chaos of the year. But I stayed so busy from March till December that I didn't really let that stuff creep in as much as I normally would. But then it all snuck in December. So that brings us to now. I think I covered a lot of the highlights from last year, things that I'm really proud of. And something that became quite apparent is that as good of a job as I thought I was doing last year in maintaining my mental health, I definitely did not make time for talk therapy and doing that kind of workout, like the brain stuff, I have always been a huge fan of talk therapy. I've been to talk therapy many times in my life. When my parents divorced when I was a kid, to being super stressed out in Cégep in college and working too many hours and not being able to sleep. I found some comfort in talk therapy then. Before I got married, when I came back from overseas and was experiencing severe culture shock, all these different times in my life, I found therapy. And I don't know what it was about last year, but it's I just thought, oh, well, when we can get back to having therapy in person, then I'll go back. But now I'm realizing that it's going to be a little longer till we're back into real-time functioning, right? So I booked myself a Zoom style video call therapy session actually next week, and I'm really excited about it. And I just think that there's some dusty corners in my brain I gotta clear out. And I don't enjoy dumping on my partner or my friends. I also am a very proud woman, and I am one of those people who I know that I am flawed because I'm human, and I celebrate my imperfections, but I don't like to boast about them or I don't like to be a burden on people, I think is what it comes down to. So I don't overly share with anyone, honestly. So I'm excited because I do share with my therapist. I feel it's a very safe place. She is a safe person, and I'm really excited about it. So, here we are talking about talk therapy. And like I said in my Instagram stories the other day, if you are someone who maybe has never tried it, who's been curious about it, who feels like, they got some stuff to work out, P.S. we all have things to work out. I encourage you to try to make it happen. I know that there's a lot more ways that we're connecting with therapists these days, and I do appreciate that not everything is accessible because of finances, but there's got to be some free stuff out there. I encourage you to look into it. I don't know too much about it, but I will say when I got back from Malaysia and I was living in Alberta, I had found a free service, and I received free therapy for 3 months or something while I was seeking out therapy. It was just before we moved back here, I think, and it was free. So we had no benefits, we had no coverage. I didn't even have a health card because I'd been out of the country for so long. So there's ways to do it, and I encourage you to look into it. So I'm feeling very hopeful about 2021, where I feel like I've got the fitness under my belt, and I'm not rushing into it in January, for example, because I definitely feel that seasonal, depression's a strong word, but I feel that dip in my emotions. I feel that dip in my energy. This is the time of year we hibernate, we eat cozy, yummy things. But what I am doing is just asking myself, I've said, Amanda, can you please just walk every day for 30 minutes? Anything above and beyond that, gold. Walking is simple. Walking is something my pets like me to do with them, and I think it's extremely reasonable for me. So I keep my expectations low, So I'm feeling pretty hopeful. I've got the fitness down. I just got to do the head thing in 2021, and I feel that I'll be far more well-rounded. One slight negative, and this relates to mental health, is, one of the reasons that prompted me to finally call my therapist and book this session and kind of get over my weird thing about wanting to not have a video call with her is I had a panic attack over this past weekend, and it was definitely illness triggered panic attack. I had a backache, I had a fever. If these symptoms sound kind of common to a certain illness going around, they are. And in fact, I have a COVID test booked tomorrow because I just want to clear that off the list in case it is or it isn't. I just would like to know, but yeah, and I had the insomnia, the headache, a full backache, the whole day, slight fever. So there's that. And it just triggered a lot of stuff, and I went into a full-blown anxiety attack, and it was terrible. It was truly terrible. And I realized, one, it's terrible, like I've said 3 times. It takes me almost 2 full days to recover from that. So I still had it. So that was Saturday. That was a whole day. So I was in the really early morning. The whole day I was down and out. By the end of the day, I felt a little better, but I couldn't bend down to pick things up. My head was just poof, 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 And then Sunday I was better, but it was definitely low energy, Amanda. And then Monday I got to walking, and then, the week has carried on since. So there's some stuff happening, and I noticed that last year I had multiple panic attacks. I use the term interchangeably, but I know they're very different. Anxiety attacks. Anxiety attacks, what I'm realizing is they can be triggered by something. And so mine are definitely triggered by things. A panic attack can kind of creep up out of anywhere is what I read. I might be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments if you know more. I'm always open to being educated. Stay coachable. But these anxiety attacks are triggered by certain things. I tend to know what mine are. And one of the big ones is not taking care of myself. The other one is sickness of any kind when it comes to me. It used to involve my kids. It's still my kids, but it's definitely if I feel, I don't know what it is. It's just something. And I noticed that over 2020, I had a ton of anxiety attacks. And I have not had this many or this consistently been affected by anxiety in the last 16 years as I have been in the last 10 months. Of course, the world is a dumpster fire, so it's not surprising, but I need to get a handle on it because it's starting to really affect me, and I like to be in control of my life as much as possible. So that is truly what triggered it, and I'm excited to work through some of the things I need to work through, because what I'm realizing as I get older is like, you don't have to feel badly. That's it. You don't have to feel badly. If you want to make a change, you can do that. I know it's not that simple. I'm not trying to spew some toxic positivity. I also realize the work I have to do to get myself the tools to better handle this anxiety when it creeps in. It's going to take some work. It's not going to be pleasant. I have to dig in some of those boxes of memories and things and triggers that I don't really want to do, but I'm going to do it because it's going to help me get through to that next chapter, to that next place where I'm better equipped to handle some of this anxiety. So all I want to say to you is like, you're worthy. You are worthy and you are capable of healing. And as I do, I will be sharing parts of this journey with you. And I love hearing from you guys. If you want to DM me and let me know where you're at in your healing journey, I would love to hear it. So we are worthy, and I'm looking forward to getting some work done in 2021. So here's where we're at for 2021. I'm excited. I am hopeful. There's a vaccine. I know it's not going to be the cure-all. I know Canada is kind of screwed up and we don't have as many, the plan in place to get these vaccines out is looking a bit patchy in Canada. But eventually we'll get there. And I feel very creative. And so what I want to tell you is my word of the year. My word of 2021 is create. This word I feel like I've been just bringing it in. It's been drawing me to it, and I've been drawing it to me. I feel like last year was, Amanda, you put your head down, girlfriend, and you take care of your family. That got me emotional just saying that. Hold it together. But that was 2020. And I did it. But I also did it and I'm tired. So what I'm looking to do for this year is to continue to do that. I feel so blessed that I'm in a position where I can. And also, Amanda, you are a creative soul. And I am really, really scheduling in time to just be creative, to create content I enjoy, to have fun and be playful and create more play in my life. And this play element also I've trickling into like this thing with the gaming, with the Nintendo Switch and my kids, to play more. I'm also creating more time for myself, like to create with myself, to do my hair, to do my makeup, because I enjoy doing that. I want to create space for Dean and I. So we've made some changes in our sleeping arrangements, and it's very exciting. I feel like this year, I just want to continue to feel excited and passionate and creative. Those are very, create and being a creator. These are words that I really hold dear to myself because that is truly what I do here, and to see myself as a creator and a creative, because I think I've doubted that over the years, and doubt does no good for no one. So that's my word. I feel ready. I feel ready for the change. I feel excited. I have a project coming up called Friendo, and I'll be sharing more about that, but there's a little tweak to my podcast. There's going to be some fun little things coming along with it. I put that out into the universe last month, and it's coming. When it's out and live and ready, you'll be the first to know. So it's just, I feel ready. I'm putting doubt aside. I am taking chances. I took a photo out in the snow in my swimsuit the other day. That was not something I would normally do, but I did it because I had an idea, and I just went with it, and I'm no longer squashing those ideas, because I think so often we can be the biggest roadblock in our lives, and I'm not doing it anymore. You know what I mean? I think when you take chances is when you see magical things happen, and sometimes things flop, and that's okay too. But had I not taken a chance in starting my YouTube channel, I wouldn't be here sharing all of this with you guys and taking care of my family in a time I never suspected. I truly never thought that my job on YouTube would be able to care for my family. I would have laughed if you told me that. So it's almost like in the difficulty of last year, I am reminded of my spirit, of who I am, of my power, of my force, of my creativity, and I'm bringing it for 2021. Ooh, I feel good about that, even just like sharing it with you guys. So I'm so excited that you're here. I'm excited for what the new year will bring. I will ebb and flow and share new things with you guys, and I hope that you stick around for the journey. So that's that. What I would love to know, if you've made it this far in the video, oh my goodness, let me know if you are doing anything for the year, like if it's a goal, if it's a word of the year. Like I'm kind of wishy-washy with the goals. Like the only thing I've said for myself in January is no booze, limit the caffeine, and walk every day. And those three things, to be honest, are just related to anxiety. And I'm trying to figure out what is the trigger, if any. So those are my only real goals. But the main thing is just create, Amanda, just create. So I'd love to hear what your 2021, what your plans, what your hopes and wishes are. Share in the comments below. This is a beautiful community here, and we tend to support each other pretty good. So on that note, I'm gonna let you go. I think my dinner is about nearly ready here. I gotta go set the table. So thank you for being here. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.